Y'all, so I'm just sitting here in this national park in my area. Literally the first thing I'm doing today, because I got some thinking to do. Guys, for those of you that are out there wrapped up in some situationship that's really mainly just based on lust, like an all around toxic relationship. Not even a relationship, it's a situationship. Be honest with yourself. And it's nothing nothing but traumatic experiences, and bad things keep happening, and they don't respect you at all. Yet you're just so hooked on that lust that you just keep doing it. And that's all it's based on. I mean, take a step back and look at it for what it really is. Guys, if you're not careful and you're stuck in those situationships, I mean, they could really, really cause a lot of problems for your life. I should know. It's why I'm doing this video right now. Guys, I'm someone that have struggled my whole life, as many of you have. And, we grind our tails off through our lives trying to get to a certain point, trying to reach certain levels of success and fulfillment. And, we're here living this life, this human experience, trying to reach our goals. And we go through so many trials and tribulations, and we have to learn all these lessons. Yet so many of them we just stay so blind to so often because really, for surface level pleasures, the the illusions that we refuse to see past because maybe in the moment it feels good. Guys, I've been through it all. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and over these past several years now, I've been going through my healing. I've been growing, I'm ascending, I've been awakened. I see the truth now. I've admitted my flaws to myself. I accepted them. I started to change them. And, this takes a lot, being honest with yourself. It really does. It takes a level of self-criticism. And I know for a lot of people that's not easy to do. Because, for a lot of people, it's very hard for somebody to take a step back and look at themselves and really admit their wrongs and be regretful about them and, be wanting and willing to change them. This I've done and am doing. Now, the bigger moral to this video is the real reason why I'm doing it, not only, to hopefully give some advice to people going, through those toxic lifestyles, to try to get people to push them away or, take their exit out of them because of the future issues that they may cause you. And this is something that I very recently discovered. I mean, there's already several issues and blockages and hurdles that have been placed in front of me because of that past situationship. But this one, guys, is big. And I'm sitting here trying to figure something else out. I've always struggled through employment up until my previous job. I was always a horrible employee. My attendance was terrible. I never wanted to get up and go to work. I was never motivated. And, it was always because I was living in some negative mindset and some toxic environment and, being controlled and manipulated by others. But, Ever since I went into my isolation and started growing, I'm a completely different person. I get up and go to work every day. In fact, I'm early every day and I do it like it's second nature. Okay, it's just a normal day for me. Um, I'm not out here calling out of work and making up sick excuses and stuff, and it's not like that anymore. But I do need a better paying job. What I get paid now, I know there's people in the world that would love to get paid that, but for me in my life, it's nowhere near enough. You know, as for what I need to accomplish and the goals that I need to reach and the amount that I need to build and the amount of time I need to do it. I had applied for a position the other day that, the ad jumped right out at me. The second I saw it, it was just the name of the company. I was like, boom, that's the one. And then, and I read shortly about what they did and stuff, and it was right up my alley. I have all that experience, and I applied, and the guy called me back in 1 hour, which never happened before. So I'm thinking it's a good sign, and actually, it was a very good sign, guys. Um, This interview went so good. I've never had an interview go so good before. The guy really liked me. He really wanted to bring me on board. He actually made me an offer. And let me tell you something. He made me a starting offer, which was acceptable. It was more than what I'm making now. And the position really consisted of a lot of talent, which I have in certain departments, and skills. I have a lot of experience. I am a jack of all trades. Um, he wanted to bring me in on a starting basis just so I can, you know, prove myself and show my worth, which is not a problem. I do that quickly. He said once that has been met, that what they were really looking for was somebody to step in and take the lead, to run their own crew, to call the shots, on the job sites that they'd be sent on, which would have been me. And the pay I would have been getting, guys, would have set me for life. I'm not kidding. My ears perked up when he told me the numbers. I damn near got tears in my eyes. Because it was like, finally, after all this time, like, thank God. But guys, there is a roadblock in my way because of that past situationship with my ex. It was so toxic, but I stayed in it over the course of the few years I was in it. We were together, but we weren't together. She was constantly with other men, constantly sneaking around. That girl's got a vault of secrets that she's gonna take to the grave because they're that dark, they're that nefarious. Um, Guys, I was manipulated so badly by her, yet because of lust, I kept putting up with it. I kept taking it. I kept going back for more. The manipulation, the gaslighting, the sleep depriving. Yeah. Those narcissists are evil beings. They are evil spirits. It's not even a body you're dealing with. It's not even a person. It's actually a dark evil spirit that you're dealing with that dwells inside of that vessel that you're with, that vessel that you're attracted to. It had gotten so bad, I had been being sleep deprived. It had gotten to the point where she would literally premeditate arguments. I caught on to this because if arguments didn't go the way she wanted them to go, she would get even worse. It got to the point where I stopped reacting to the manipulation Boy, that really upset her. I remember the fake tears one night, telling me how it hurts. It hurts. You're not showing any emotion anymore. It hurts. It hurts. That was the evil spirit talking to me, because it could no longer feed off of my emotions. But before that point, I had been manipulated so badly, gaslit so badly, sleep deprived so badly. You know, most nights we were under the influence of alcohol, we were drinking. She would premeditate these arguments. Guys, I had been manipulated and gaslit so bad and sleep deprived that I ended up with a record. And what's on my record is not of my character. That's not who I am. It happened because I was manipulated so badly and gaslit and sleep deprived. That night that she got me like that, I was very tired. She doing her premeditated argument as usual. I told her to just leave me alone. I went in the other room. I laid down on the couch. I was going to try to go to sleep. She would not allow me to. She would not allow me to, because if I had gone to sleep, her plans would not have met her needs. And they wouldn't have carried out. So she wouldn't allow me to sleep. She kept attacking me. So guys, it got to the point where I ended up kind of flying off the handle. I went after her. It only went so far because I caught myself, but it went far enough to the point where I ended up with a record. I ended up getting arrested. I went to jail for 7 months. Actually, 2 different jails, because she did this in 2 separate counties. This, within a span of 2 weeks, she did this within 2 separate counties. The same thing. So actually, I ended up with the same charge twice in 2 different counties. So I had to go through 2 different jails. I spent 99 days in the first jail and then got transferred to the next jail, which I was at for 105 days. Both were just waiting on court dates, but I had no bail. But now I got the crap placed on my record that's just indefinitely there. And, by rights it shouldn't be, because the system judges us people. They judge us based on what's on paper. They don't judge us by character. It's always about what's on paper in the 3D. It's not really about who you are. If you get manipulated and gaslit and you make one bad choice, it may not even have been a choice at the time. Okay? You were basically controlled and pushed to do so. You end up with something on paper that's going to cause you all kinds of problems for your future. I've had several jobs now that I've had to accept not being able to get because of what's on paper, thanks to her. Thanks to being addicted to that lust situation that I was in, that I just couldn't get past at the time because it was just so good. I find myself kicking myself in the butt very often. But it's like, we could blame ourselves for these things, but, in the end, what could we really have done about it? We were going through some learning experience. We were learning lessons the hard way that we had to learn. But, for those lessons to have to cause us such a problem down the road, it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. This position I was offered, guys, like I was in. But then that final question I was asked about my background, because the job sites that we would have been going on are of high security clearance, okay? We're talking about doing work at the White House, doing work at the Pentagon, doing work for the FBI, the airports, those types of places, those types of jobs. um, and it was a type of construction, not the construction that comes to mind when you automatically think of just construction, but it was a very talented thing, very skillful thing, and it was setting security measures into place, for high security areas like those. And guys, I was so grateful that I was about to have this opportunity. As I said, my whole life was going to be set. I have never come anywhere even close to making the numbers that he told me. Like I said, I damn near had gotten tears in my eyes when he said it. And because finally I was going to be an actual leader in the 3D world as I am now. Because I am a leader. I'm just never allowed to. I'm always held back. I'm always suppressed. And it's frustrating. But guys, I could not get this position because of my past. Because of that one time, those 2 times within 2 weeks that I was manipulated and gaslit so bad, and also sleep deprived, which really messes with your head if you don't know how that goes. It messes with your sanity. Sleep deprivation. Narcissists do that stuff to you. Really, guys, what I'm trying to do here is trying to urge you that if you are in a situationship like that, guys, please respect yourself. Please, guys, save yourself. You got to think about the possible implications and problems that it may cause you down the road. Not only I can't get certain jobs like that, and, it's like especially much higher paying jobs, which I need, especially at my point in life and my age, and as much as I need to accomplish and build at this point in the short amount of time, that's what I need, but I can't get it. Not through another employer anyway. Really, the only way I'd be able to do something like that is if I start my own business, which I am absolutely capable of doing, which I absolutely have the skill and knowledge to do so. I could start several different types of businesses, but of course, finances are always of the issue. And when we're stuck working these jobs in a lower income bracket, it's like you find yourself asking yourself a question. Am I ever going to get there? Is it even possible? But yeah, guys, I was so upset yesterday because I had to say bye-bye to that beautiful, lucrative offer that was put in front of me. All thanks to my ex. It's disheartening, does not even sum it up. But we have to accept it. What other choice is there? I have to accept it. I have no other choice. Am I just going to stew about it for the rest of my life? No. We people are resourceful. We find ways around these things. But we do so staying in a positive mindset. So, if I was going to choose to sit here and stay and stew over it and be in a negative mindset about it for the rest of my life, I'll just stay stuck in one spot for the rest of my life. And then I also have to look at it as, well, maybe that position truly wasn't meant for me anyway. As good as it sounded, as great as the numbers sounded, as good as the company name looked, as well as I would have fit in, I also would have had to get used to, getting up early in the morning again, which I think about right now, and it's like, well, maybe it's a good thing because, guys, I'm not a morning person. What I do now, I work second shift. I go into work at 2 in the afternoon. I usually wake up every day at like 9 in the morning, and then I'll lay there for an hour or two, just waking up. So, I've worked many first shift jobs through my life, many early morning jobs. And let me tell you something. It's like, it's like, it's like my soul, my spirit is just, it's not from here. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not, like I didn't originate in this solar system because I I'm not like everyone else. I see everyone else they get up early in the morning every day, and they get their full day, and I just don't I can't do that. I just can't do it. I've tried as much as I've tried through my life, I just can't do it. And yeah, I mean, I've worked third shift jobs before, overnight. That wasn't so bad, but that messes with you too. Because it's like you're going from one day into the next day, and then it's just crazy. You lose all track of time and dates, um, and then, then you got to sleep all day too when the sun's out, while everyone else is out, you're sleeping because you work night shifts, and it's just like, it's not a life to live. I like working the second shift I work now. I work 2 to 10:30, and even though on like weekends or Friday nights when I get out, most places are getting ready to close, or people have been out already, because by the time I get home, if I want to go out on a Friday night, get home around 11 o'clock. I have to get ready. Next thing you know, it's midnight. It's like, well, where are you really gonna go? I mean, only where you can go is like places that are open to like two in the morning or something like that. And it's not in my area anyway. There's not a lot of those, honestly, guys. The only thing in my area that's open till those times are like basically like strip clubs, and those aren't everywhere out here either. But and really, there's no real benefit to going to those places either anyway. And, I've been to one several times, in the past few months, and it's just like there is no benefit to it really. All you're doing, it's like you're just going there just to spend money, and you know, and if you're weak-minded, they will take advantage of you. They absolutely will. They will drain your pockets. No, I'm not one of those guys, but um, yeah, yeah, guys, I can't believe it. Like, I already had a feeling that I wasn't going to get the position because of that problem, because of what's on paper. So I was ready for that outcome. But it's just the fact of the matter now. It's the principle of it now. It's like, I'm tired of it. You know, that person that's printed on paper, who I have said to be what I did, is not who I am. It's not who I am. Like, you may be manipulated and pushed to do something one time in your life, and then it follows you for the rest of your life. From that point on, that is what you're judged on. That is who you become in the 3D reality to others, because it's what's on paper. And it's just terrible. Why can't people spend some time with you and get to know you and learn your true character? rather than what was printed on paper however many years ago. If you were truly that type of person, if you were truly bad like that, you'd still be getting into trouble the entire time since. And guys, I've been squeaky clean. And I usually always was. But because of that one time, I got manipulated and gaslit so badly and sleep deprived, I was pushed past my limits. I got controlled. All thanks to being addicted to lust, which is what I see most of in the world these days, all over social media and TV. Everything's based on lust, and it's just... it's a bad choice. It feels great in the moment. I know it does. I agree with that. It feels amazing in the moment. You know, it's attractive. You want to feel it. But, guys, in a lot of cases, it could ruin your life. It could absolutely ruin your life. So, I just hope everybody, we all, start making better choices for ourselves. Think before you act, and really weigh the pros and cons before you jump into anything, before you move forward with anything, as good as it may feel, as attractive as it may look. Because you never know what's hidden in the darkness. You never know what's living beneath the surface. All right, guys. Hope you all have a great weekend. And I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my beautiful Saturday. You guys, God bless you guys. Love you all. Bye.